It's very painful, frustrating, and confusing when you find yourself in the same patterns of relationship over and over again. Maybe it's you're attracting the same type of toxic person. Maybe they seem fine in the beginning. And this can turn into self-blame as well, because you're recognizing the pattern, but you may also be clearly seeing this doesn't happen to everyone. Not all of my friends are in this cycle. So what's going on here? Sometimes the only answers we can arrive at are almost sort of law of attraction-y, right? Like, I guess there's just something about me, something about my energy. I want to give a framework for this that might help you understand what might be going on here and give you some practical ways to actually work through this that I've seen be effective. So if you think about when you are a young child, whatever your family is like, whatever the dynamics are of that household, which can be very, very subtle, that's what your body, mind, nervous system are going to learn. Okay, this is what human beings are like. This is how we have to navigate these people. And you will notice you have your own strategies around that. Maybe you had to be the good one, the quiet one, right? The one who is trying to make sure everyone else is okay, or the more aggressive one, because hey, the only way we can get through this household is to be dominant and make our voice heard. Now, that's your perhaps seemingly external behaviors, right? But I don't just want to talk about what's going on for you as far as how it shaped your behavior, but I also want you to think about for a moment whether you really like the dynamics or not, whether you even like the outcome of how you had to behave. The other component to this is what your body, mind, nervous system starts to map out as far as these are the types of relationships we have learned. This is what we understand. This is what we know how to survive within. So people of a certain style, maybe a certain aggressiveness, whatever the pattern might be, I have often found that it makes sense for people. It clicks for them when they notice, like, you know what? There's a certain hard to describe familiarity with certain people. Almost like something in my body goes, oh, we know this. We know this energy. It's not particularly conscious, right? But you might start to notice this. And if you think about it in the framework of our bodies, our nervous systems literally learned certain environments, certain relationship dynamics, and so those are more familiar. There is a certain familiarity and comfort, even if it's not exactly healthy or optimal. The other side of this is someone who might be almost like a hard to imagine amazing partner for you, right? Like really healthy, really attentive, asks you how you feel, meets your needs. That kind of energy might almost seem like an alien to you. And that's another thing that I've talked to people and they're like, you know what, that's right. That feels right to me. Because sometimes I'm around it. Not only will your brain possibly even filter out those people, right? But when you're around it, there's something like, we don't know what to do with this. I don't know how to be around this kind of person. And the irony is it's actually true because those aren't the types of people, that's not the type of energy, the type of care or compassion that your body is used to being around. So it's actually unfamiliar and doesn't necessarily feel comfortable. That doesn't mean you're wrong or bad. It's literally, we understand this. This is familiar to us. These types of maybe, to my mind, would seem like this is a better energy to be around. These energies are not familiar. They haven't been mapped out, and our body, our behaviors start saying, like, we don't know who to be. We don't know who to be with this person. But the seemingly ends up being toxic person, like, we've got that mapped out. We understand that. So start just looking at yourself with a little compassion, like, oh, this is almost like how the computer has been programmed in a way. I mean, you're obviously much more sophisticated than just a computer, but there are literal things going on where this is what my system feels comfortable with. This is what it understands. Maybe better, healthier versions of a relationship, there is no framework for, there is no visceral, physical understanding for. So some of the approaches you can begin to use are not just to like visualize a healthy relationship, right? Because you might be able to put a picture in your mind, but again, to your body, it's like totally foreign, right? So there is a process where you can start to feel what it would feel like, even like imagine what it would feel like, and you might notice the discomfort, right? Now, you don't want to power through that discomfort. That discomfort has the information within it of like, oh, we don't feel comfortable with this image of this super healthy, attentive partner. We feel comfortable around the like almost sort of chaotic household. That's where you speak very compassionately and physically, if you have access to it, be present with those emotions, those sensations. Like, yeah, this is what feels comfortable to me, right? And I use a lot of EFT tapping on my channel. You can learn more about that, but it's something to engage your body to help send a calming signal. As it's like, yeah, you know what? I sort of feel I'm more comfortable with this unhealthy dynamic, right? Where I'm the one that has to make everything right, right? I'm around this person and they're kind of pushing my buttons, but there's also something that feels familiar about it, right? Working through these dynamics, these inner feelings, this inner programming, and also can help you begin to install like what would it actually feel like, not just in a image in your mind sense, but helping you feel more safe in really small, sometimes small doses of, wait, what would it look like to receive a compliment or a healthy response from someone? And again, noticing the discomfort in your nervous system and almost like an exposure therapy, help your system start to become more comfortable with healthier interactions, because that's what you're ultimately wanting to achieve, so that the healthier versions of humans in your life actually starts to feel more familiar. And if it's like, well, I just have to hope I find an amazing person and, just magically things work out with them and we stick together and that's going to eventually rewire me, that's leaving a lot to chance, right? There's very natural, healthy ways to work through this and process this and help your system start to feel not only more comfortable with healthy dynamics, but that will naturally, again, naturally help you filter out the people that are not good for you, because that's the only reason your system keeps going to them. They seem like the only option. They seem like the only thing you know. So your body just moves towards it, because being isolated and alone also has challenges, also becomes uncomfortable, right? So that's why there's often this cycle of like single or fairly isolated, but when I go out or when I start being proactive, I seem to keep attracting these same people, because that's the only thing your nervous system is comfortable with. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, especially about how to work through this in more detail, there's some links in the description. Hope it helps. Talk to you soon.